Today I have two stories for you. Both of them are about, you know it from the message, seeds. Hey, if we take the D off, there's a word that we know. See. My glasses help me see better. Seeds. It's written by Vijaya Bodak. She wrote the words, so she is called the author. Her friend, Gail Saunders Smith, did not draw these pictures. What did she do? She took a picture of this kiwi with a camera. She didn't draw it. So she is called a photographer, right? So let's see, all about seed, real or pretend? So far we know that Vijaya Bodak makes a lot of books that are real. So I don't know, I think that could be a papaya. A papaya is filled with seeds. Table of contents, there it is. And if we want to find seeds we eat, we look on page 16. But I want to know everything about seeds, so let's read the whole thing. Another clue that maybe it's real or pretend. Well, let's see. Plants need seeds. Plants make seeds. Each seed can grow into a new plant. We know that. We started in the ground. Seeds need soil, water, and warmth, like from the sunshine, to grow. Seeds break open in the soil. Stems grow up, roots grow down. Hey, that looks like a sunflower seed, or maybe even a pumpkin seed if it doesn't have that stripe, and I don't know. Those are the roots. There's the shoot turning into a stem. Here are some leaves growing. The new plant makes leaves, flowers, and fruit. Seeds grow inside of the fruit. Spreading seeds. Birds help spread seeds when they eat berries. They eat them, then where do they go? They go to the bathroom. The seeds come out in their waste and fall to the ground. Birds don't actually go to the bathroom. They just fly and drop it wherever. And the seeds come out. Look at that little beak holding that little tiny berry. There's the seed inside. Weather spreads seeds too. Dandelion seeds float to new places when the wind blows. But you help them too, because I know you pick up those dandelions, the old ones that have the seeds. They don't look like regular seeds, do they? They have all those little tiny tufts. Like they look like feathers a little bit. And then you blow on them, and then the seeds spread all over. But the wind does too. People scatter seeds. Pumpkin seeds grow well in large gardens. They're planting some pumpkins. Hey, do you remember? Welcome back, Jack. He put his old rotted pumpkin in the garden, but there were seeds left inside. And what happened the next year? A new pumpkin plant grew. So people move the seeds. Seeds we eat. Many seeds are good to eat. Peas are soft seeds that grow in pods. Look at those. Yum. Sunflower seeds make crunchy snacks. These hard seeds grow inside of the middle of the sunflowers. We knew that because we read Sunflower House. Wonderful seeds. Large or small, hard or soft. Seeds grow into new plants. Oh, there are the helicopters from a maple tree. They're kind of cool when they fall. They spin, don't they? They can go in all kinds of directions. Oh, parts of a plant. Here it is. We have the labels on them. Down here, flower. There's the seed. There's the roots. There's the stem. Oh, here's the big plant. These are the leaves. Here is the pod of the pea. And where are the seeds? Inside of those pods. Before they grow those pods, they have little tiny white flowers, though. The flowers first, and then the pod. Okay, Mrs. Casamasa's library word for this one is nonfiction. It is not fake. It's real. Well, I have the next one, Miss Rumpus. Miss Rumpus is one of my well, it probably is my favorite story. Sometimes we like stories because they are hilarious and they make us laugh. And sometimes we like stories just because they're really cool and they're about something that we like to learn about. And that's why you like it so much. Sometimes a story reminds you of something or someone. And this story does that for me. This story, Miss Rumpus, reminds me of my aunt. Her name was Virginia. My name is Virginia. She was a teacher. Now I'm a teacher. She would be 110 years old right now. And she would not like me to tell you that either. But Miss Rumpus is my favorite story because this lady reminds me of my Aunt G, I used to call her. Miss Rumpus is written by Barbara Cooney. She wrote the words, so she is called, yep, the author, and she drew the pictures, so she's the illustrator. Oh, I bet Miss Rumpus has something to do with flowers because of the cover. Here it is again, Miss Rumpus. The Lupine Lady lives in a small house overlooking the sea. In between the rocks around her house grow blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. The Lupine Lady is little and old, but she has not always been that way. I know. She's my great aunt, and she told me so. Once upon a time, she was a little girl named Alice who lived in a city by the sea. From the front stoop, she could see the wharves and the bristling masts of tall ships. Many years ago, her grandfather had come to America on a large sailing ship all the way from Europe across the ocean. That's a pretty view. Now, her father worked in the shop at the bottom of the house, making figureheads for the prows of ships and carving Indians out of wood to put in front of cigar stores. For Alice's grandfather was an artist. He painted pictures, too, of sailing ships and places across the sea. When he was very busy, Alice helped him paint in the skies. And there she is, working at her easel. In the evening, Alice sat on her grandfather's knee. It was her grandfather, I said father. Her grandfather's knee and listened to his stories of faraway places. When he had finished, Alice would say, "When I grow up, I too will go to faraway places. And when I grow old, I too will live beside the sea." "Well, that is all very well, little Alice," said her grandfather. "But there's a third thing you must do." "What is that?" asked Alice. "You must do something to make the world more beautiful," said her grandfather. "All right," said Alice, but she did not know what that could be. In the meantime, Alice got up and washed her face and ate porridge for breakfast. She went to school and came home and did her homework, and pretty soon she was grown up. That's how fast it goes. Now, then my great Aunt Alice set out to do those things that she had told her grandfather she was going to do. She left home and went to live in another city far away from the sea and the salt air. There she worked in a library, dusting off books and keeping them from getting mixed up and helping people find the ones they wanted. Hey, that's like Mrs. Casamasa. Some of the books told her about faraway places, and people called her Miss Rumpus now. Sometimes she went to the conservatory in the middle of the park. When she stepped inside on a wintry day, the warm, moist air wrapped itself around her, and the sweet smell of jasmine filled her nose. "Oh, this is almost like a tropical isle," said Miss Rumpus, "but not quite." So Miss Rumpus went to a real tropical island where people kept cockatoos and monkeys as pets. She walked on long beaches, picking up beautiful shells. She met lots and lots of friends. My great aunt, Miss Alice Rumpus, climbed tall mountains where the snow never melted. She went through jungles and across deserts. She saw lions playing and kangaroos jumping, and everywhere she went, she made friends that she would never forget. But one time she was riding on the back of a camel, and getting off of that camel, she hurt her back. "Oh, what a foolish thing to do," said Miss Rumpus. "Well, I have certainly seen faraway places. Maybe it's time to find my place by the sea." And it was, and she did. And there's her little house by the sea. From the front porch of her new house, Miss Rumpus watched the sun come up. She watched it cross the heavens and sparkle on the water, and she saw it set in glory every evening. She started a little garden among the rocks that surrounded her house, and she planted a few flower seeds in the stony ground. Miss Rumpus was almost perfectly happy. There is still one more thing I have to do, she said. I have to do something to make the world more beautiful. But what? The world is already pretty nice, she thought, looking out over the ocean. But the next spring, Miss Rumpus was not very well. Her back was bothering her, and she had to stay in bed most of the time. The flowers she had planted the summer before had come up and bloomed in spite of her stony ground. She could see them from her bedroom window, blue and purple and rose-colored. "Oh, lupines," Miss Rumpus said with satisfaction. "I've always loved the lupines the best. I wish I could plant even more seeds this summer so that I could have even more flowers next year." But she was not able to. After a hard winter spring came, Miss Rumpus was feeling much better. Now she could take walks again. One afternoon, she started to go up and over the hill where she had not been for a long time. "I don't believe my eyes," she cried when she got to the top, for there on the other side of the hill was a large patch of blue and purple and rose-colored lupines. "How did they get here?" "It must have been the wind," she said as she knelt in delight. "It was the wind that brought the seeds from my garden here. And I bet the birds have helped." Then Miss Rumpus had a wonderful idea. She hurried home and got out her seed catalogs, and she sent away for the very best seeds, 5 bushels of lupin seeds. All that summer, Miss Rumpus, her pockets filled with seeds, wandered everywhere, scattering seeds along the highways and down the country lanes. She flung handfuls around the schoolhouse and in back of the church. Her back didn't hurt any more at all, but some people called her the crazy old Lupine Lady. The next spring, there were lupines everywhere. Fields and hillsides were covered with the blue and purple and rose-colored flowers. They bloomed everywhere. Miss Rumpus had done the third, the most difficult thing of all. What did she do, everybody? She made the world more beautiful. Well, my great-aunt Alice, Miss Rumpus, is very old now. Her hair is very white. Every year there are more and more lupines. Now they call her the Lupine Lady, not the crazy one. Sometimes my friends stand with me outside her gate, curious to see the old lady who planted the field of lupines. When she invites us in, they come in slowly. They think she's the oldest woman in the world. Often she tells us her stories of faraway places. When I grow up, I tell her, I too will go to faraway places and come home to live by the sea. "Well, that is all very well, little Alice," says my aunt, "but there's a third thing you must do." "What is that?" I ask. "You must do something to make the world more beautiful." "All right," I say. But I do not know yet what that could be. And I love that story. But she had a little problem. The little problem was, what did she have to do? She had to do something to make the world more beautiful. Yes. And how did she fix it? How did she fix that problem? What did she do to make it more beautiful? She planted those gorgeous flowers, didn't she? But who helped her? The wind blew them. Remember when she was sick and she couldn't get out of bed? The wind blew the seeds. And the birds probably picked up the seeds and flew over on the other side. And then she bought lots and lots of seeds and planted them everywhere.